Hi, this is Charlotte Wessels, and I'm here speaking with Charlie Meister for Alive and Loud. And we'll be talking about new music, future, Tales from 6 Feet Under, maybe. I'll see what kind of questions he has, so make sure to check it out.
Here we go. All right, so welcome to this edition of Alive and Loud, where we feature Charlotte Wessels. She headbangs for a living, all the way from the Netherlands today. Through the means of modern technology, we're able to bring her on the show. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. And Charlotte, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm here 6 feet under. Had a busy day, almost time for the weekend. Yeah, a lot of exciting things going on. So I'm doing okay. It's weird that we're not seeing each other in person. Like, it's been a long time. But this is good. Yeah, through the wonders of technology.
I know, right? I'm joking with that, right? But truthfully, I mean, it's been closing in on 2 years now since you've been on this side of the pond, so to speak,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You did extensive touring here for years. I think the first time I saw you guys would have been 2013.
Yeah. That was the first time. It's a shame too, because this was actually this was the first time that we got one of those fancy 3-year visas.
Oh,
you know?
Geez. Of course, right?
Well, yeah, isn't it ironic?
Maybe we'll find a reason to use it still. But you said you've had a pretty busy day so far. You've had a pretty busy year. I mean, looking at the studio behind you here, you built this in the house very early last year, right? Yeah, like tell us a little bit about it.
So we moved here, I think, in August 2 years ago, not last August, but the August before that. And the main reason that we bought this house was the fact that it has a basement. The neighbors don't have a basement, so I only have to make the room sound good. I don't have to do a whole lot in terms of keeping the sound in. I'm not going to bother anyone, and it's a great space. I have a little bit of daylight from over there, which is really cool. It's like a window in the floor, so I still get some, like, I know whether it's night or day, so it's not like too basement-y.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I just got on my gear here. This is just here so you don't see what kind of a mess it is at this point, because since the gyms have been closed, it's like also a gym, it's also storage, it's a lot of things at this point. But yeah, no, like, a lot of songs are being born here, so I'm really happy with the space. I've spent so much time here last year. It's insane. My dad built that door. Like, there wasn't a door, there wasn't glass, so that's why we don't hear like the TV or anything. So, and I made the sound isolation things. It's all kind of DIY, but it does the job, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to having it grow with me. Like, I should get some bass traps installed, and there's always things that you want to improve and that you want to tweak, but it's just a great space. I'm really happy with it.
Well, it's ironic in a way, right? So you bought the house almost 2 years ago with this intention, and it turns out you ended up kind of stuck there for a while, and you put it to work almost immediately. Like, as the world was shutting down last year, you began your Patreon.
Yeah, I was in the US in February of last year, like right before everything closed down. And that's when I visited Patreon, and like, I visited their headquarters in San Francisco. It was really cool. But so that was before I knew that this was going to be what I would be spending all of my time during the pandemic on. And even a part of me even hesitated whether I should even begin while the pandemic was going on, because do you remember how when it all started, we thought this is going to be a few months or like a few weeks and then we'll be fine. And I thought, yeah, you're not going to ask people for money basically in a moment where people are losing jobs or, having a hard time themselves. So for a long time, I really hesitated whether I should launch it at the moment where I wanted to launch it. But I'm glad that I did, because it took a long time. And I'm glad that I didn't wait until right about now. We're losing the masks tomorrow. So
that's
I'm
exciting.
getting my shot tomorrow.
Okay, good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I wasn't aware when the plans for the Patreon formed that it was going to be a pandemic thing,
Yeah. But it's not just a pandemic thing.
No.
No,
it wasn't intended as such, and I hope that it will carry on way beyond that.
Yeah. So what you've been able to do through this, though, you have released a new song every single month on the 13th without fail. And that seems to have been a pretty neat creative outlet for you to be able to kind of put your songs out there over, the last, 15, I think there's 14 main songs right now, with the 15th would be coming up in July, right?
Yeah.
So, and how has that helped you to be able to do that and kind of stay connected over the last year?
Oh, it was, well, in the beginning, it was really lovely because I felt like I had a number of songs where I felt like these are never going to be on the Delaine record, and I don't think that I didn't want to start like a new project and then have the commitments that come with that. Like I really wanted something where I could work on a song by song basis, or very flexible. Like I write a song, I like it, I put it online. So in the beginning, it was just mainly that, like, oh, these things are finally getting an outlet. But as I got going, like a lot of things grew beyond what I expected from it. Like the community factor is really, really important to me, and it's really there. And for me, also the fact that I'm doing a lot myself, and I kind of expected to, like, my idea was I'm going to do everything myself until I kind of have the funds to, have people jump in. But I'm realizing now that I'm learning so much from doing it myself. So I'm involving people for the videos, the photography, the mix and the masters, the illustrations and the designs. But I'm kind of, one thing that I didn't expect is that I would like the production side of things so much. Like in the beginning, I was like writing to producers because I thought, I'm not sure if I want to do this myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got going, I just enjoy it a lot. Like I learn a lot. And this is actually the first month where I'm not sure what the song of the month is going to be for the next month. And it's not really because I'm running out of ideas, but it's because like I kind of had like a pile of unfinished songs where I'm like, I need a song of the month. Which one am I going to do today? But I feel like a lot of them are kind of like, I don't want to go back to those anymore because they're from so long ago, and I'm kind of in another place now. Also, just on a very technical level, like I listen to them and I go like, meh. So that's great. So I learned a lot, but it's also giving me a challenge now because I'm like, yeah, I had a collection of things I could still work with, but I'm not sure if I can use them anymore because I want to do other things now.
Yeah.
So you keep evolving. It's very interesting. The learning curve is steep, which is, I think, interesting. Yeah.
Sure. Well, don't get rid of any of that stuff, please. Moved on, but it's a timepiece. So hopefully someday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Even a demo is kind of cool. It gets in the headspace of where somebody's at, and that can be really neat.
True. Yeah, and I still really want to get them out, but sometimes I feel like, oh, it would be like a really big contrast with the song of the month that I've done before. Well,
yeah. Well, so there's a lot of different dimensions to what you've been up to over the course of the last year with your Patreon, though. One, you've had the ability to connect with fans, which while people have largely been somewhat isolated, that's proven to be an extremely valuable thing right there too, right?
Yeah.
Be it as an artist or as a fan of music or a fan of live music, which we've not been able to do. You've really provided a neat community for people to be able to kind of come together and talk about a lot of different things, but also the common thread, which is music that you've been able to continue to create. So how has that kind of been uplifting, or yeah, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's been very uplifting. And it's also been, you know, the hangouts that I do from here, like they're always like super chaotic, and like I tell myself I will practice a song and then I kind of don't. But still, they're kind of the closest thing to like live performances that up until the live streams that the live streams with Tim Tronco and at Quarant Talks that I've done recently. Up until then, those are kind of the closest thing to like being on a stage that I've been doing. Like you kind of get the adrenaline, like I'm performing, it's live. And then also there's the part of like the people hanging in the Discord and chatting about everything and joking afterwards. It's kind of like you're hanging in a bar, you know? It's yeah, it's social, it's fun, it's interactive, and they've been giving a lot in terms of they've made, so they have a secret channel for me that I don't know anything about. I only know that it's called the NSFA, not safe for Wessels
Nah.
channel. But they've planned like music videos there, like they've done lyric videos for one of the songs, and it's yeah, it's just very encouraging. Also going through, you know, the split with Delaine, it's like and I know that everyone, like, if I'm a fan of a band and a band splits, you know, for whatever reason, I'd be upset. Um, and I was just really humbled by the fact that people were reaching out so much, like they were reaching out in support. Well, I can imagine that, you know, if you're really one of those diehard fans, then that's kind of something that you're dealing with feelings about that too. So I was just really humbled by how nice everyone was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not surprised though.
No, not surprised, not surprised. But you know, when you get insecure, you still feel like, oh my God, everyone's gonna hate me.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just have these moments. It's not rational. It's just, you know, I think everyone has those fears in one place or another where you just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so to kind of take the next step with the Patreon thing, you know, it's also served as as a means to survival in a sense over the last year as well, right? I mean, you know, were you surprised at the response that you got when you rolled that out?
Yeah. Yeah. The first day, I remember the first day I was checking my phone like every minute, like there was a new patron. I think at the end of that first day there were over 500.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this is this is I still don't really have words for it. I know that um yeah, I've always really enjoyed like connecting with everyone, and I feel like some people say, like, I know that it didn't happen out of nothing, you know, there's a lot of time kind of building up to starting the thing like that. Um, but I was still very, very pleasantly surprised by just the amount of people just taking an interest and taking that part out of their budget to support me, which is like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, to be fair, I mean, like so many patrons, there's a number of different levels that you have.
Yeah.
People can get in as little as I think $4, right?
Yeah.
And that includes the
Yeah.
community, that includes the music every month, the monthly hangouts. There's a lot involved there. So you're really engaging everybody. You know, of course, the people that choose to take it up a notch or 3 or 4, there's certainly a heck of a lot more involved there too. But it's really cool. And you know, the timing seems uncanny that it was really kind of being built when everything else was starting to close down.
Yeah.
but now recently you've started putting some of your stuff out on Spotify as well. Certainly not the whole catalog yet. So, everybody that's part of that community is definitely getting an exclusive first bite at the apple, if you will. But you are trickling a few songs here and there on Spotify, and now you show up as a true solo artist, which I wasn't ready for, but here we are.
No, dude, I remember the first time I saw some, it was just it was an article totally unrelated to Delaine, but it said my name and then it said, ex Delaine. And I was like, huh, I'm going to be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
That was the weird one for me. But yeah, I've seen it a couple of times now. It's starting to sink in.
Starting to sink in. So Charlotte, in looking at Delaine, obviously, things sort of came to a head, and really everybody kind of went their separate ways in February. In the meantime, though, I've seen some collaborations here and there. You've had Otto in the studio taking some pictures. You've had Timo, playing on a live stream with you. That there's still parts of that family that seem to get along quite well. And I know that that's something that people would certainly love to know. And the prospect of, is there more of that down the road in some way, shape, or form? Is that something people can look forward to?
So that's a good question. I at this point, like, I'm just at that point where it feels like a recent split, and I'm afraid of committing to something new, because I feel like, for such a long time I thought that this would be, Delaine would be the thing that I would be doing forever and ever, and apparently it didn't. And that's something that is I'm still not completely worked through that idea. And I'm someone who goes full in. So if I would start like a new band, then at this point, then I still kind of choke up, because one of the first thoughts I have is like, what if that band breaks up? What if we have to do this again? Because it was heavy the last year. That doesn't mean, however, that that I don't enjoy like taking on projects with the boys. And I'm also like a never say never kind of person. Like, this is where I am now, and I don't know what that will be like in the future. So I think that cliche. I think that time will tell. Yeah.
Well, it inevitably will.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. So, you just said, right, your masks are coming off. Touring is starting to happen big time. I mean, I don't know so much about, European acts being able to cross over or anything like that just yet, but it's the dates are starting to happen.
Yeah.
How are you going to approach that with your solo material? People want to see you. All right.
Yeah.
You're a fan favorite. You may know this already. But the point of that is more, what's that going to look like? How are you going to be able to bring your music to an audience? Have you thought about that?
Yeah. I'm not sure yet. Like, especially the newer songs, they definitely need a band. But kind of tying into our last the last question, my feeling right now is that I would probably first do something with session musicians, maybe getting my feet in the water.
Yeah.
And I think it will maybe need some kind of different approach, like different kind of instruments. There's some electronics involved that I would like to. Yeah, I think it was already apparent from like the live streams that I've done. I made some of these songs with my looper. So if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to loop it live on stage, which is terrifying, because if something goes wrong in the first round, you're fucked. You're bleeped.
Yeah.
So it's So, just things like that. I know already for these 5 songs with like only guitar and vocals, we spent quite an amount of time figuring out how we were going to make the arrangements to still make it work in a smaller form. So it kind of depends on what kind of shows will be on my path. Like at this point, I'm not really in a hurry. Like I still have when the band split in February, I took on a lot of projects, and I think that I was afraid of like the black hole, like I took on a lot of projects, and I'm basically booked until December with just a lot of studio work, and of course the song of the month and all of the hangouts and the things. So
Yeah.
I've got plenty to do, and I figured that I'm not going to like book a club tour right now.
Right.
That will also give some time to maybe there will be a red thread through the music at one point, or it will be more apparent like what kind of band it would ask for. So I'm giving myself a little more time to really start thinking about like real touring, like occasional things like live streams. Yeah.
But you are thinking about it, so that's good.
Yeah. I've had a long time where I was like, oh, it's kind of nice not having to be on a stage. And I was like, I was also going through some, body image things. And for a while, and I'm only realizing this in retrospect, but for a while, it was actually really good to not be on a stage and not to be constantly looked at. And I thought, oh, maybe I'm just comfortable with just being in the studio. But then we did the Quarant Talks show on the stage. I was like on that stage, and it was like I came back into my being. It was like, oh yeah, no, this is not gonna go ever. So it will be there at one point. It's because I know that I'm not gonna rush it.
Yeah. Well, I'm very happy to hear that that's out in the future somewhere there.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is.
Oh, that's really awesome. Well, definitely the fans are looking forward to it for sure. In fact, it's something I wanted to shoot over a photo I'm going to post on the screen when we do this. I just shot you a photo over your Instagram. I don't know if you have access to that where you are right now. If you do, cool. If you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah, sure.
But I'll tee it up.
Yes. Yeah.
So Charlotte, in as I mentioned, being a fan favorite, I actually saw a moment, and this was really cool. And I'm sure a lot of artists do things like this, but I was lucky enough to capture a moment where one of the fans right in the front row that I've recognized at a number of your shows over the years was dying. It was a hot September show there in that theater in Toronto. And you saw that, and you passed him a bottle of water from the stage right into the crowd. And I gotta just say that kind of stuff really makes a huge difference. I see it, fans see it, and that's why you guys have been so beloved for so long now, and why that you've been able to build such a great fan base everywhere you go. So really kind of a neat testament, and that's a big part of why I can't wait to see where things do go. However long it takes, when you're able to kind of bring the show on the road, so they say. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, because this is fun. But the live shows is where it's at.
Yeah. Exactly.
So where do you see things going for the next little bit? I know you said the rest of the year is pretty booked out. You got a lot of different projects you took on. Yeah. Patreon's going to continue throughout all of that. So for anybody that wants to jump on, it's certainly never too late. You can find Charlotte on Patreon. We'll have a link in the video as well. So definitely do that. What else do you want to chat about?
So yeah, it's going to be the song every month is going to be the release in September. There's going to be a big project in November that I'm not allowed to talk about. There's going to be something fun.
Okay.
And yeah, and after that, I think I'm going to have to start thinking about touring. So oh, and there's going to be a new video out on Wednesday. Woohoo! So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Which Supernatural is the one that's coming out, right?
Superhuman. Yeah, that's
Superhuman.
all.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. Oh,
No
God.
problem.
There I am. Yeah, and that's another huge piece that you've been doing with this too. So she's not just creating music. You've got like legitimate music videos coming out of this, like real production that's happening. Obviously not on a monthly basis. There's a lot more involved in that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're big projects.
But holy cow, the actual labor that's gone into the material that you've created in the last year is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
You just mentioned a minute ago, and I'm not going to let it go at that because it really made me happy. I've commented a number of times that I wanted you to put all of this stuff out on vinyl, and here
I
it
know.
comes. Here it comes.
Yes.
So where can we all go to get that?
I teamed up with Napalm for the production and distribution of the vinyl. I know their work. So you can go to Napalm's web shop. They have a US web shop too. And they'll be selling three different versions, four if you're a patron, because there's one patron exclusive color that I got them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's four beautiful versions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I ordered that Patreon one right away. So about 3 months and it'll be here, right? 2.5. I don't know.
Yeah. September. Yeah, 17 September. I'm not sure if it will be right at your. Well, that's kind of the point of ordering, right? Yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
This is the reason why I'm kind of happy that I have a DIY attitude, but I thought, am I going to do all the vinyl myself, like ship it all myself? And I'm happy that I'm not doing that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Definitely excited to hear, with the new video coming out as well. I've seen the teasers all week that you have up there promoting it. So that'll be super cool too. And yeah, and you're working a lot with Tim Trunco too. That's been really cool. And he's been really busy lately. I just watched the live stream that Epica did recently as well, which was really cool. That was really well done. Did you happen to catch that?
I watched portions of it, and I still want to watch the entire thing. Everything that I saw was completely insane, like out of this world. So
it was a neat production.
I want the full production. I want to see the entire thing.
Yeah.
I need to see the entire thing.
Well, and my take with that too is it's like, I want to see that tour.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that completely works in a live setting, but it was really big, really elaborate. Tons of fun to watch. I had to watch it twice because I did write a review on it. Loved it. But now I want to see that show.
Yeah.
Charlotte, thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed this chat. It's the longest break since I've been able to see you guys live. And I can't wait, no matter what form it comes, to see you on our shores again someday soon. We look forward to all the stuff that you have coming out. So really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. And I hope to speak to you soon again. And hopefully that time in person again, maybe at a show, who knows?
Got it. All right. Well, hey, have a great day.
Thank you very much. You too.
You got it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.